Listen to that drumming. Woo, I think that's James Stewart. Slow start today. We're giving away the all bundle today, so I hope some more people come in. Otherwise, the all bundle's gonna go to me. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, taking this thing to Mexico. Just gonna take my slippers off. I got these amazing new slippers, and I usually hate slippers. I usually just despise them. I usually just don't like them. But then I got this really wonderful pair of slippers, and they're so comfortable. I'm gonna wear these into the ground. I'm gonna use that. We're doing a Polish metal mix today because today is being sponsored by Aurora DSP. Very excited about this stream. This is the New Year's Eve stream. I'm excited about it. Hope you guys are as well. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna chill. We're gonna hang out. Hopefully, if you have nothing else to do on New Year's Eve, if you're in the chat, by the way, say hello. Wave at me. Say hi. I need to know there are people here. Gosh. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna have to be done here. Hold on. I had to take a little bit off the top, otherwise I know it was gonna just go right onto the guitar. I'm prepped here, guys. I'm ready to go. And in order to win the all bundle from Aurora DSP, which, I mean, can we be honest about this? Let's go. Let's look for a second here. Aurora. I don't know who that Aurora pop artist is. That always comes up when I look this up. Here's a look at what you're going to win today, guys. Let's go to plugins. All of this. You are going to win Mammoth. Let's go to the screen. You are going to be winning Mammoth, the monumental bass plugin. Rhino, massive guitar plugin. The EQ 510. You're going to be winning the Monster 400 Neural Bus Compressor, the L2 Aura Classic Vintage Tube Compressor, the AK476, the legendary FET Compressor Limiter. You're also going to be winning Digbeth. That singing's throwing me off in the background. You're going to be winning Laney Digbeth. And by the way, this is going to be a bit guitar and a little bit of bass today. I'm going to be pulling out a bass later. We're going to be going over some of the bass plugins in this lineup. We're going to hang out probably for about 2 hours today, about an hour and a bit of guitar and then a little bit of bass along the end. Laney Digbeth is honestly one of the most versatile amp plugins I've ever seen. And you might look at it and say, that's not super metal. Incorrect. Okay, it can do metal and then some. I've got a sliver in a really awkward spot. I thought I got rid of it. I think I did, but the spot is still tender, so I'm not sure. You're going to win the Absalon bass and Absalon guitar. These are $30 a piece, but man, you're going to win both of them, and they're both very simplistic, but both super awesome. You're going to win the Dead Kitty, the Perfect Tone. This is, if I'm not mistaken, a Marshall DSL. These, I believe, are based on Orange Sims. I'm not 100% on that, but I could clarify. You're going to win the Banshee Nano. You're going to win the Drive-Through Service. And that is one of our team's favorite plugins of the year. You're going to win the Laney Ironheart, which is one of my favorite plugins of the entire year of 2024. You're going to win the Rotten Pool Verb, La Boga Mr. Hector. You're going to win the Gorilla Bass Studio. This is the everything bundle right here. You win everything, okay, folks? It is a $320 value as a bundle, but if you look at the value per plugin, it's way beyond $320, folks. So this is going to give you access to everything on this screen here. Man, everything is just throwing me off. I'm just going for. I just want. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go straight up. We're going to go straight up decapitated today. I don't want to be sift. I don't want to sift through anything today. So we're going to listen to all decapitated. And that's be it today. It's going to be nothing but decapitated day. So I hope that they're loose and okay with sharing on YouTube. We have no comments yet today. No comments. Everyone's just saying, hi, we're here. So nobody wants to win anything. That's good. Either way. Hi, my name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show. And today's New Year's Eve special. We are just, hey, Annihilation Text. Happy last day of the year. That's the guy that wants to win something. And also, Happy New Year to you as well, sir. We're just talking about your album the other day. I was talking with Phil about your album the other day. And man, that album that you did with the other fellow whose name I will not speak. Man, that is such a good album. Great tone on that album too, dude. And one thing we like around here is good tone, and what I'm going to be going after today is going to be some great tone. I'm going to be going after a little metal, maybe a little hard rock today. I'm going to be showcasing some of the wonderful plugins in this lineup. And yeah, there's a lot in this lineup to get excited about. It's different stuff though. Like if you're going into it expecting it, I really wish that Rhino here had a bit of a different UI going on, but we'll get to that later. Anyways, showing everybody what you're winning. We're going to be showcasing Mr. Hector today. Mr. Hector is pretty awesome. I think this thing really can do some big sounds. Versatile, we'll go versatile metal rhythm. And that's where we're going to get started. And maybe it'd be better if the plugin was engaged. That's usually a good idea if I want to hear it, right? Oh, I'm out of tune. You got a tune. Always tuning around here. I adjusted my camera angle a little bit so you guys could see. You guys could see me tuning a little bit closer. Anyways, what are you guys doing for your wonderful New Year's Eve? I am 46 years old, so I'm staying home like most other people that I know. Just staying home chilling. I did not save that with the low end down that far. And again, why are we having the tuning? Why are we having the tuning problems? I see what the problem is there. All right, let's see what we got. And I took the top end down a little bit too much there. This is beefy. This is based on a Laboga Mr. Hector, obviously, which is... I've heard various reports of this amp being based on various things. I know that this amp is based on... for the longest period of time, someone had told me... Actually, multiple people told me that this was sort of the poor man's rectifier, as somebody like a very simplified poor man's rectifier. But I was, in fact, told that that's not the case at all. All right, nice cab section here, and I'm gonna move this around just a tiny bit. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, gotta get something happening here, man. So what's everybody up to? How's everybody doing? Yeah, you know what? Okay, I see what you're saying there. Honestly, I see 4 of you in here. Chat me up, folks. Chat me up. The boys from the team should be along shortly, if I'm not mistaken. Just making sure that all the dudes here are aware of what's up. Anyhow. Okay. Perfect. And we are all good. Sorry, folks. Just, I lost the comments there actually for a second, and I lost them again. Here they are. Perfect. Okay. All right. So I'm seeing exactly what you're saying. I mean, let's just call you Mr. H. Mr. H, I definitely see where you're coming from on that. I have a lot of instruments around that are in different tunings, and I experiment with different tunings. This one's in B flat. And I can just tell that this guitar is not happy about being in B flat. I can just tell. I like the string tension with the 62 to 13s in B flat. I really like that. But I think I'm just going to pull these off and go back to a set of 59s or 58s and go right back to B. I think I might even... I was even considering doing it today, but then I was like, too pressed for time. I was like, nah, fuck it. So I think I completely understand where the happy medium, I found it. I did. I found the happy medium. And the happy medium I found was in C sharp. The clarity is there. The open chords are there. Everything, there's less muddiness to take care of in various situations. You've already got most of the battle. You've got some quality sims for starters. You've got a quality amp. Next, you've got a quality instrument with good pickups, as I know that about you. And that is like having really good DI, super good DI quality is like, that's half the battle. In fact, that's like 80% of the battle is just making sure that your DI quality is as close as you can get it. And then for me, it's about quad tracking the guitars and doing it in a way where I'm using 2 different rigs, and then producing it in such a way. I'll send you a really good video from Cole Keller Studios on how you can use your quad track scenario, and then whereas you've got 2 different rigs and one of them and you know, say right and left, and then you've also got the same, you know, two rigs but different performances. These 2 are going to be EQ'd kind of standard, your high pass, low pass. These are going to be a bit different. These are going to involve a bit of a shelf and a bit of a bump. And then everything kind of works together. The other thing that a lot of metal guitar players, when recording your own album at home, a really good point is when you're quad tracking, don't use too much gain. You know, for example, so I'm trying to find the happy medium here. So I've got the gain up pretty hefty here. So where I'm playing, if I'm just like demoing something for you guys, my gain's going to be about here. All right, I really got to get a hold of this. This is driving me absolutely bananas. So here, this is getting to a point. So what I mean is you're going to take, even without demonstrating while I'm tuning, I can explain it. Take about 20 or 30% off in the gain of what you're using. Exhumed Corpse 666. Well, E standard tuning. What's E standard tuning? He means F sharp to some people. Oh, wait a minute. I misread that. Sorry. What's E standard tuning? Caleb, how are you? Good to see you. What's E standard tuning? Hey, you know what? E standard, just ask Anthrax. Anybody that believes, some people believe that Metallica, their use of E tuning, like a lot of people are just like, nah, that's not heavy. But if you listen to Anthrax use E, it's unavoidable that there's no way you can say no way at all. There are a number of bands that play in E, and as long as the bass tone is really full and working with the guitar tone, it can still sound gigantic, depending on the playing as well, right? The bass really has to follow the guitar in that case, without too many offshoots, right? So, for me, where E flat, man, E flat, D, or C sharp. Those 3 tunings, I don't think there's anything wrong you could do with any of those 3 tunings. So where I was going with that, though, is if you're quad tracking, if you really want a really, really nice guitar sound, if you use too much gain across 4 tracks of guitar, it's gonna sound like a mess. You could record in E standard if you want, no problem. And you're looking for clarity, and if you use lots of gain, way too much gain on all 4 of those tracks, it's gonna lack clarity. It's gonna come out like a mess. So where I would do, like where I'm right now with the gain, I would wheel this back. Like if I was recording a quad track, I'd wheel it back to about here. Nope, even less. Yeah, right about there. So it's be way better to wheel that gain. I'd even wheel it back even more. Clarity's there. So the idea is of quad tracking is you're trying to make two guitars sound like a giant, much larger, right? You don't really want it to sound like four guitars. You want it to sound like two giant guitars that are just, flexing. So in that case, what I would do is I would just record them all with like a less gain, more clarity. And then as you do the 4 tracks, that gain builds up. And the 4 tracks automatically sounds like 2 because of the amount of gain that you're using being cut down. And then you put that on top of each other, and you're in business, right? I don't know if that makes any sense on your end. I'm not much of a producer, and I've actually never claimed. I always tell people I'm a hobby at home producer. I've got some decent, I can get some decent results. But I think it's it's definitely finding something that you're comfortable with, right? Anyways, we're going to move along from Mr. Hector. Just showcasing that Mr. Hector is there. That is part. Where I think it actually excels is being a rock amp and a hard rock amp and even a bluesy kind of amp. There is a lot of value. Tons of value in there. So going back to tuning. All right. Sorry, guys. Just reading a message as it pops up. Team guys should be here shortly. Anyways, now we're moving on to free stuff, but I'm going to show you how to hack this free stuff to be like more free stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go to a preset that I made for this called Old Faithful. This being Old Faithful, let's give a little. That is going to be quite loud. So let's bring that back. And that's a bit too much. This is free, 100% free. You can get this right now. Free. Yeah, free. And, oh man, I got the Cokes. I know what you're thinking. I'm not back on the Coca-Cola. You haven't seen a can of it here. I'm not back on the Cokes. In any event, we're going to go. So that's Old Faithful. Now you've got access to 2 IRs. Okay, let's go. This is Nasty. Oh, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Give me a break now. Oh, he's being cranky. It's just because I've got my desk right next to the rad. And this is Rude. All right, so that's Rude, Nasty. How good is James Stewart? How good is James Stewart from... Well, I guess is he in Decapitated and Vader right now? Dude is swinging. Jeez Louise. Papa Cheese. Exhumed Corpse. I know, right? Yo, Eddie, how's it going? D standard is my jam. Any higher than that just seems wrong. I would agree with Eddie in the case of man, I really love E flat. I would have agreed that if you had asked me 5 years ago, I would have said I'm not tuning any higher than D. D was where I drew the line, and I also feel like D is maybe one of the most versatile tunings in all of guitar. Think of all the things you can do with D. D is heavy, no problem. You could record, okay, now stay with me, hold up. You could do extreme metal with it. You can do stuff like Nickelback with it. You could do thrash with it. You can do whatever you want, really. You can play blues with it. You can play any genre or style you'd be fine playing in D. And if you're really struggling to get a little heavy, then you can easily just drop that low string and be in kill switch territory and just be in that C, the drop C. So you're more than in range to be able to do a lot of different things. You could even play Doom. There are Doom bands that tune in D. Although C is like, if I'm understanding now, as I'm learning, C is like the Doom tuning. But then about 2 or 3 years ago, I fell back in love with E flat. I remembered how fucking heavy and how evil it sounds. I don't know why. Why is that? Why does E flat? And it's not fucking F sharp. It's E flat. How not F sharp. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm looking for. G sharp. G sharp? I'm not sure what I'm looking for right now. In any event, I fell back in love with E flat, and it's just like, it's that thrash tuning. That's just like, there's so many bands that used E flat for such a long period of time, and it just seems so much more evil and heavier. I don't know why. I have no idea. But I do have a couple guitars in E flat right now, and they're doing okay. I do still really like D, though, I would say that, but I found that C and C sharp is really where I found that you could really be still super heavy, right? You could still go and play like a, Black Label Society type stuff or hard rock in C, because there's a lot of bands tuning in C right now, right? So yeah, D sharp is what I'm looking for. Sorry, F sharp. I'm like, F sharp. That doesn't make any sense in my mind. So say you're just like, it's after Christmas. I have no money to spend right now, bro. I have a little money so I can get a little creative. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hit, you guys have heard both of those IRs. You've heard the mix of the middle, and it sounds good. Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm going to hit that IR off button. I'm going to hit the IR button. Turn it off. Bypass. Turn on my own cabinet selection. I'm going to start with the EGA 414 and see what we got here. So yeah, you can do stuff like that over here. No, that's not what I'm looking for. So yeah, we're using Goblin with our own IRs now. And why is that important? Well, it plays well with a lot of IRs, and you can save money and get a lot of different sounds by just using different IRs from different companies. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go to guitar, and I can use any of these. These are some of my favorites. So if I want, I can just go and look for whatever, though. Let's go into guitar. And now I've got a bunch of different options here I can go through and create really just whatever I want. I'm going to go into Own Hammer. I'm going to go to the old school Heavy Hitters pack. And go to Heavy Hitters Pack 1, A1 Picks. And this is going to be 412 Diesel Cut Mix. If I want to scoop it, or sorry, boost it even more. Little out. What are you going to do? Getting close, though. It's starting to settle in. These are new strings. That's why I didn't want to pull them off and do something with it. Anyways, also, guys, please do make sure to check out our sponsors, Roartone Pickups and Meinzinger Guitars. I will be getting my Meinzinger guitar in a couple of weeks, loaded with said Roartone Pickups, and I cannot wait to showcase it for you guys. I'll be playing it probably forever. Get that awesome feels of new guitar feels. All right, the other plugin, I just noticed I left this in here from yesterday. Isn't that a coincidence? This is from Bogren Digital, though. Not that there's any relation. This is the MLC, by the way. Did we figure out if this came out this year or last, guys? I'm pretty sure it came out last year because I think it was my favorite plugin from last year, but why do I feel like it came out this year? In any event, this is the Vogue amp. This is the amp that Vogue uses. Vogue from the band we're listening to right now. We're going to get to it eventually, but I was like, hey, look, I left that in there. That's, yeah, not a coincidence at all that I left it in here whatsoever. I mean, yeah, no coincidence at all. Anyways, this is the MLC Sub-Zero 100. This thing is awesome, and if you're a fan of Vogue from Decapitated, you might be thinking this is an absolute high-gain beast, and it's actually not. This is, believe it or not, it's kind of a modified Marshall, but it also has this nifty tube selector right here, and this amp is awesome. So if next time you see this on sale, or if you just want to buy it outright, or if there's a sale, whatever, this thing is awesome. So yeah, we're gonna move past that back to Goblin, and how you can use Goblin, which is free, by the way, and we're doing the everything bundle today. Boots, man. Do you? I don't know if I guarantee I didn't. I guarantee I don't. I honestly only think the people in the house at the time heard it. But I once upon a time recorded a cover of Roots. I remember I used Reason drums with the drum kit from Hell samples that were borrowed from a friend. Anyways, and it was just like me yelling boots and then types of boots, army boots and hiking boots and distant boots and that boots. Yeah, man, it was awesome. Marching boots. And then eventually it got nuked with my computer. That basically just blew up one day because I was asking it to do way more than it was probably meant to do. And so I lost that. I lost everything at the time. And I wasn't going to go and re-record that because it took me forever to program the drums. I'm like, I'm not going to do that for a gag song. And I didn't have it mixed and up. That was the only thing. Man, bummer. So yeah, what you can do is if you just go and get different IR libraries. This one is, we've got Marshall. We've got a bunch of different stuff here. We've got Marshall and EVH in this one. Mesa Chunk. Yeah. But I honestly, Mr. H, I've actually had the same recent epiphany that I believe that my next metal effort with my Skullverizer project, which you guys can hear a really, really old, it was recorded like 6 or 7 years prior to when I uploaded it on Spotify, but Spotify wouldn't, for whatever reason, made the upload date the date it came out. Anyways, it's up on Spotify right now. It's not good. It's all right. It's good songs. The mixes are kind of trash, though. Yeah, it sounds pretty heavy. And so I'm just fucking around with different IRs and a free amp sim here. You can go and do exactly the same. I'm going through my own Hammer libraries, low tuned essentials. Low tuned essentials pack. Summary? No, that's not what I wanted. Ah, here we are. Revolution mixes. Ooh, that's loud and heavy as fuck. Yeah. Steve. Ooh. Steve Harris is a good bass player. You're like, why did he say that? It was because I felt like saying it. Just being a good guy, you know? Giving people credit where credit is due. That sort of thing. This is free. Free tone, basically. And this pack is what? How much is the low tuned essentials pack right now? Like 20 bucks? Something along those lines? That was a riff that just came to mind from like high school. This guy I used to be in a guitar class with used to do all kinds of fun things. Do you guys ever take a guitar class and fuck with the teacher at all? Because boy, oh boy, I'm not suggesting to our younger audience that you go and mess with your music teachers. Although at a time in the 90s. I don't know why that riff came into my head. It comes into my head every once in a while. Anyways, once in a while, knowing full well that the teacher was tuning for people that could not tune their own instrument, when occasionally a beginner student... This sounds so mean. I wasn't trying to be a bully. Just like you had to pay your dues, man. Every once in a while when one of the younger students... Fuck, it sounds like such a mean thing to do now, but... Every once in a while when like one of the younger students or the newer students would go to the washroom, someone would reach over and turn a couple of the knobs on their guitar so that then when they came back, it was, you can hear it. You know what it sounds like. That would sound like if someone was trying to play basic chords with 3 out-of-tune strings. It would sound like hell. It sounds awful. So I remember in this particular situation, myself and people used to do that, but not to make nothing against the student. It was all to do with the teacher, and he was a bit of a dick. So we knew he would have to stop what he was doing and come over and tune that guitar again. And anyways, it was just very entertaining to us at the time. This is sounding great. I'm just sort of stuck on this tone right now because it really does sound super good. I'm really enjoying Goblin right here. This is a 5153, by the way. I think it's the blue or red channel. I can't remember which one. You said whoa. What is the whoa? Anyways, we're going to let Goblin go. It's just a really good idea of something you can do with it. It's a pre-boosted, and you can boost it more or less with this fellow in the middle here, and his little aura is the boost. And if you'd like, I'm double boosting right now because I felt like double boosting. If I'm just single boosting, it still sounds really good. Arguably better. Wonderful. Anyways, Goblin. Gonna see Goblin later. It comes up a lot because it's one of the best freeware plugins you'll ever be able to find. For metal. It's pretty much only good for metal, I would say. I'm not gonna say it's bad for like hard rock. You could probably pull that off with it just fine if I was to just wheel that back and... Now, there's not really a gain. The gain is just sort of... I don't know. It still worked for, like, American hard rock. Yeah! Where it's, like, drop tune, but it's still just, like... Did you hear how Creed had the craziest thing I've ever heard? Creed had the best year they ever had. The craziest thing I've ever heard. I had a friend of mine that was on that tour actually teching for Finger 11. And Finger 11 is a Canadian band if you're not familiar. Rock band. We'll call them a hard rock band, although at one point in time they did refer to themselves as nu metal. They're not nu metal. Never were. In any event, they're not the worst Canadian band. It's some of their older stuff is like kind of heavy. I guess. But in any event, he was on this tour with them, and holy shit, I was seeing the crowds. The crowds I was seeing pictures of were bananas. They just up and decided it too, because they got a whole bunch of like hype through the World Series the year before and the year before that. And they had a really, really high hype, and they hadn't even really reunited yet. And they're like, yeah, guys, we should fucking capitalize on this because like there's some people that want to see us. And then, like Miles Kennedy and Alter Bridge was like, fuck! It's like, dude's just like, damn it! Stupid Creed! 12 people here today! Yeah, I definitely just clipped the motherfucker there. I gotta figure out that limiter vocal chain scenario. I have to make sure there's way more I could do to control my vocal. I had a couple of people chime in on our YouTube comments, just chime in about like what I could do with the vocal chain and everything else. It's like, yeah, I could do a lot of things with the vocal chain, but I'm trying to keep things as absolutely low resource as possible for my machine so it can focus on latency and just showcasing the guitar. Really, it's not about having my voice sound incredible. Although I could arguably do a better job of using the limiter to control things a little bit, but I'm also like kind of excited and I lean right in and I just yell real loud. So sorry guys. So who wants to win some shit today? All right, cool. The greatest thing that happened for me in 2024 is that we figured out our video issues. Oh man, did that ever ruin us? It was just so irritating. I had to watch it back to really feel it because I wasn't getting it on my end, and I watched it back and I was like, geez Louise. One little change thanks to Eduardo, and yeah, we're doing good. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of Goblin. See you later, Goblin. I'm gonna turn off my impulse response loader here. While this is in here, I'm gonna give this a go. Just because it's in here, I want to give this a go anyways. It's not that there's any relation to Aurora DSP or anything like that. But, yeah. Winning is the coolest. I agree, Mr. H. It already sounds like it's going to be, I haven't even pissed it off yet. It already sounds like I know what's going to happen here, you know, like. Yeah, buddy. Is there a one knob version of this one? I think it's free now, actually. So if you're interested in the MLC and just a one knob version of it, which gosh, I don't know why anybody would. I'm not going to say no one should ever want that because it is cool and it is free. So go get it. Well, it's free. However, that being said, this amp sim is really fucking good because it's versatile. And with one knob, you don't get that. There's 3 channels. You're not going to get 3 channels in a one fucking knob. One fucking knob! It's just, guys, I have to do it. Every time you guys bring it up, I got to say it like that. And if you've never done it, I strongly suggest yelling one fucking knob in your best Boston accent. This thing sounds so good. And Vogue makes it sound way better than I do. What do we got going on here now? I was going to say, that ain't decapitated no more. We've got, no, I wanted to stick with decapitated today. No. But there is a specific album I really would love to listen to. And it is my opinion, just my opinion, is the best, the absolute best decapitated album since The Negation. And yeah, what a great album. I was going to put that on in the background. This is actually the pickup that Vogue used to use as well, as for a while he was on the DiMarzio Evolution, and it's the full and 100% reason that I put it in this guitar, because I wasn't happy with the pickup, and then I saw that he was having a lot of luck with that pickup, because of course he does. The craziest thing about Vogue though is, you know, somehow the tone is in the hands on that one, because it doesn't matter what he uses, what guitar he uses, or what pickups he uses, or whatever else, it always sounds like Vogue. It always sounds like somehow, some way, no matter what. And like now he's back on the EMG 85, I think, in the bridge position. So to be able to go from, it's so crazy to me to be able to like just get up, pick up one day and be like, yeah, you know, I think I'm done with the DiMarzio Evolution. Or sorry, I think I'm done with the EMGs. I'm just going to go with the DiMarzio Evolution and get like the same tone somehow, and then switching back to EMG after a while, and you're like, you still somehow, how is that, how are you doing that exactly? Those pickups are very different, so it's very interesting. Oops. What is it again? Damn it. Don't you love writing something and not being able to play it because you haven't practiced it in a long time? It's like, motherfucker, I wrote you. Why can't I just play it when I want to? You know what I mean? I try to play stuff that I wrote 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I'm like, I can really tell that I was playing a lot more guitar because now I listen to it and I go, yeah, I remember that song. How it go? Why can't I play it? Oh, no. Again, to be able to go between a 5150 and the MLC seamlessly at all, to where people can't tell that which amp is being recorded is insane to me. You know, the tone is in the hands with this particular player, who happens to be one of my... Oh, no! Ah, I caught it that time, son of a bitch. So yeah, the two different tube types sound savagely good. This is more of a rock amp, if I'm going to be honest with you, though. Like, yeah, this is... To do metal, yes, it's possible, but the amp is operating at the absolute top of its headroom when it comes to, like, what it's capable of. There's no more gain available. Like, that is... You're asking the amp to do everything it can to pull off that tone, and that's fine. If that's the... You know, but where something like a 5150... I can see why a metal player might choose something like that instead, because although doesn't he have his own modified signature version of the amp though? That's got a bit more gain or something along those lines, maybe. I can't recall. I would love to see a signature plugin for Vogue though. And hey, if there's a developer that could do it, and no, I'm not saying that's the one. I haven't seen any guesses today, not one guess. I guess people forgot what we were talking about yesterday in the stream. This sounds fucking good, though. It is fun to play. I love the feel of it. It's just that so percussive sounding. It's great. If you hit it like Vogue does, which I cannot, but I can try. And I mean, listen to, like, you know, he has those super intense downstrokes. I don't know how he does those that way, man. Like, he's so much into those. Dean Lamb, Arc Spire. Okay, here's what I know about Dean Lamb. You know, I'm happy to put stuff out there if I don't receive an answer from an artist, or if I receive an answer like an El Negativo, then I have no reason to hold any kind of, there's no NDA for me to hold. So I don't mind telling people about artists or potentially analog companies that I've pursued for other companies. I have in fact pursued Dean Lamb and Archspire. I had a developer whose idea, and I'll just tell you, I can tell you what the idea was too, because this developer did, as far as I know, I'm absolutely positive. I'm not going to say a developer name, but the particular developer had a great idea, which was going to be a 3 amp scenario, one for each guitar player and one for Jared. So one for Dean, one for Toby, one for Jared in the band. And there was going to be 3 amps and then a collection. Above each amp was going to be that artist's small selection of pedals. There's going to be 3 separate chains, and it would have been really cool. I thought it was a great idea to pitch. I presented it to their guy. Do not recall his first name. His last name is Freeman. I don't remember his other name, John or Jim or Joel or something. And I was told, in the words of the developer, I want this band, pursue aggressively. So I did. And we were unsuccessful. Between myself and the developer reaching out, we were not successful in getting. So that leads me to believe that somebody else must have something in store, because the company is pretty solid. So that leads me to believe that somebody must have something in store out there for them, and that would be cool. As long as something comes out for Archspire, I would love that. It doesn't really matter who does it, and I really don't care if I get shot down, because either A, they've got a project planned with another developer, and no one told me that. It was sort of just we're gonna have to pass at this time sort of a scenario, and it was all very polite. I appreciate that. And so yeah, no, that is not the artist, but I'm glad you asked about that. So if I had to guess, I'm going to guess that they should be working on a plugin, because an artist that's got that level of hype and they are known to use digital gear. It's not as if they're, a hyped artist that just doesn't care about plugins. That's the other reason I don't mind being turned down, is if an artist is just like, I've had well-known artists tell myself and developers that I've worked with and for that, no, I'm sorry, we really don't want to put our name on something digital. That was just the long and the short. We just don't really feel comfortable with this. If we don't use it, we don't want to promote it. And cheers to you for not just promoting something for money. That's cool. I respect that. But that being said, it is pretty profitable for bands and artists to go after a signature plugin. I mean, even if the plugin sells 100 copies, the band still makes money for, and I hate to say this out loud, it's not nothing, but it's selecting the gear, selecting how things look. There's way less work on the band's end than there is the developer's end. That's just the way to put it. I'm not saying there's shit talking any bands, but it just really is how it is. It's just like they choose the gear, and then the prototypes get built, and then they approve or tweak prototype A, B. I want it to be like this, very specific. And it really is pretty low intensity process for most artists. So it makes no sense not to. So in my opinion, they're going to do one, and I want to see it. Okay, what else we got here? What do we got for guesses? So I'm asking everybody for guesses as to who the very first artist is going to be for Aurora DSP and their new signature line that is coming out, that they're going to be launching this year. They are going to be, I know they've done lots of analog license stuff where they've, obviously they've done, anyways, we're going to get rid of, I'll just take you quickly left to right here before we get rid of this. So I've got the Vanilla Sky, which is a pedal from MLC. Fascination Street is the Maxon 808X, just rebranded with Fascination Street OVD1. Obviously, you get the amp, you get the cabinet, you get you get the modern cab and the vintage cab. There's no other way. You get those two. You get a nice little band EQ here. And then on the back end, you get just a simple delay and verb that both sound super, super good. Okay, so that was just ended up somehow making its way into the chain today. I'm not sure how it got there, but All right, so now we're moving along to Rhino. Super excited about Rhino. As always, I love this plugin. I can't get enough of it. It is crushing. This is a crushing plugin, but it also has a sensitive side. So you can start here. And I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit because it's in your face. And I'm going to go to the back to my pretty face for a couple. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. We're going to go back here so you guys can see what's up. So they've got this kind of puke green colored amp. It was great. And so you can blow anything up. So all of these windows, some people like the UI, some people don't. I like it. I really wish they would do just like a standard UI, just because for the suite lovers, I think that it would increase some sales for sure. Probably at least the project would definitely pay for itself. And it would get more people behind it if they had that stereotypical pedals look like amps, look like this, look like that. That's just my opinion though. So all these have the arrows, and I've actually talked to users that didn't even really know that you could elaborate on this. I had one guy that said, oh man, it's so limited. I was like, what do you mean it's limited? He's like, there's only so many controls. It's just on and off for the pedals. I said, hang on a second. And he actually didn't know, and that's okay because not everybody clicks everything on the UI. So if you click it, boom, it opens. Now you can do whatever you want with this amp, which if I'm not mistaken, is a Cornford. I think this is, at one point, this was a Cornford. And it's almost got this weird feel of almost like there's like a wall already built into this somehow. So yeah, this is not really a high gain amp or anything. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, this is easy going amp. This one. I'm going to turn this up a bit here. Yeah. So you get it. There's also the effects right here. You can open that up and fix all your parameters for your chorus, your phaser, your flanger. I heard, man, that drives me crazy when I hear people call it a flanger. And I mean, if you're just doing it as a joke, I understand. But some people really call it that and think that's how it's pronounced. I'm just like, no. Stop it. Stop it. Some might say potato, but I tell you, when the day comes that I actually hear someone say the word potato, I'll look at them like a lunatic as well. Because I've never heard anybody say potato in my entire life. Even tomato is getting very rare. I don't even hear that. Why am I talking about this? Anyways, we're going through. And I do believe there's a Cornford and there's a Mesa in here. Man, I wish I had Daniel here right now because I could have something to go over. I know there's a Mesa, this is the Mesa, if I'm not... Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, so you get a little bit of that, then you get heavier. Yeah. Oh, that sounds ballsy. Wow, we are moving along here today. Moving along. Hi, how are you? I'm sorry, I went back to look and I left it there. Your guess. Hold on, I just want to make sure. And guys, I'm not revealing any insider information. I've signed an NDA that says I can't talk about swings and misses. I'm not bringing up any particular developers, so it just really doesn't matter. And if anybody would like to fact check any of this, you're more than welcome to reach out and ask, and I can point it out to the developer for you. That sounds great. Super modern. And I'm going to throw the YouTube screamer here for a second. This is ultra modern. I still don't have my baritone. It's in Canada now. Lord knows I'll get it someday. I don't care if you like corn, that part's still heavy as fuck. I don't care. Who do we got? Okay, Dean Lamb. It's definitely a noisy plugin. Which is a noisy plugin? The noisiest plugin I've ever experienced. Interesting. Mr. H, I'm going to introduce you to something called the denoiser. This is the denoiser. I'm going to send you a link on this one. I will connect with you somehow, some way. And this is the plugin for you. So you don't need to worry about any of that noise nonsense anymore. If, for example, I'm just going to show you how handy this can be. I have a lot of noise sources. And if you live in an old building, you have noise sources as well. The thing is, you need to get some outside noise protection. We'll call it noise suppression, noise domination plugins. And this one is cheap. It is super cheap, and it saves my life. Saves every stream we have here. It completely crushes all the noise in my environment, and I have a very noisy environment. I'm gonna show you exactly how noisy it is in my environment right now. So let's see. Okay. And now I'm going to turn off their gate. Okay. You hear that? Okay. You guys, you can hear that. Nuked. I can hear it. It's trying to sneak through there. It's so aggressive. It's trying to sneak through a little bit. So for when things do sneak through, which is very rare, I hit it with the free effector silencer. Shut the fuck up. And it's gone. Take off the... Everybody, watch your ears. Watch your ears. Taking it off. Yep, that's what's going on behind the scenes right now. So if you've got noise issues, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the denoiser from Bertom is going to crush every little bit of it, so you don't need to give a fuck. I tried everything prior to the Bertom denoiser, and thank you so much to Jason Zadora for showing it to me. I know it needs an update. I've got to do the update. I know. I'm way behind on my updates for this. However, this thing is amazing, and it absolutely crushes all your noise. Anything even threatens to sneak by it, you kill it with the effector silencer. Again, watch it out. That's how much noise. That's just with my volume off. Gone. Toasted. So, I'm going to tell you right now, go out and get yourself, if you live in a situation like you've got lights in front of you, for example, or a TV on, or an old building like this, get yourself the denoiser from Bertom. Get it. Get it, get it. And a gate will not do. Why won't a gate do? Well, here's why. Just a gate. Now listen. Oh, hang on a second. Got to bring that back a little bit in volume. Okay, so it still leaves that linger of noise. Okay, I'm going to hit it. Not there anymore. Okay, so it takes, essentially the way I've been told to set it up is take all these faders, bring them all the way to the bottom. Every fader, bring it all the way to the bottom, and then just use this as your threshold for wherever you need it to be. That is it. And that is the way it's been set since forever. And I use it during recording. I use it all the time because it absolutely kills all the noise that could ruin recordings and have ruined recordings and streams many times in the past and frustrated me to where I've got a power conditioner, I've got shielded cables, I've tried fucking everything and nothing worked. Things work a little bit, and I can tell you right now, that could be one of your problems. I like to go into that bit every once in a while, every couple of months, just to let people know that the denoiser is here doing work. Without this thing, every one of my streams would be just a way more annoying for everyone. So I'm glad that it exists. All right, back to Rhino, which does have a nice built-in gate as it is. So it's nice to have the denoiser plus a gate. That's fine. I can work with that. Trapped? God, no, not trapped. I heard they might be kind of headstrong to deal with, so I don't think a developer might want to deal with that band anyways. Lil Wayne, nice. Let it be trapped. Emmanuel Aguilar, you guys aren't even trying. That feedback, yeah. Start of a deal, or the start of what did he call it? Canal Ant. Canal Ant song. I'd like to play some of that during the stream and then just get absolutely nuked by the algorithm. The algorithms would just explode if I put on an AC song. Here's the only thing I don't like about Rhino, and I keep telling him about it, is every time I reopen it, it reopens at like power sized. Anyhow, so no one's gotten it yet. No one's gotten even close. I had the opportunity to work with Daniel on it just low-key, I was talking with, how can I say this out loud? I was talking with an amp sim lover, and I noticed one band kept on coming up when it came to death metal. There's your hint. What a hint that is, being an Aurora DSP plugin. Wow. Woohoo. I gave it all away. It's a death metal band. There's the Canal Ant reference I was waiting for. Woo! What's the one song again? No, I'm not even going to bother. You know, they did that 311 Sucks. Oh, I can play that on the air for sure. 311 Sucks. Man, that's fun. I love Canal Ant. And if you don't know what the band we're talking about, it's just a band whose name I can't say on YouTube because I'll get put on a list somewhere and then I'll have my own personal FBI agent again. I just got rid of that guy. I'm just chilling with Rhino. I'm going to take a brief break, guys. I'm going to come back with the bass. Why am I going to come back with... Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to keep going with guitar. I just can't. I can't go to bass right now. Pedro's like, fuck! So close, Pedro. How about this? I promise you that before we're done, I will do a bass stream, and it will be... The majority of it will be Aurora DSP. How about that? Can we do that? Man, playing bass is so boring. I'm kidding, guys. I love bass. I love playing bass. It's just every time I pull out a bass on this channel, it seems just like it's like tumbleweeds, man. Tumbleweeds. Woo. I can see the Vader reference and why you might say that. Though, and I can't say that's entirely out of the realm of possibilities. I've heard the name mentioned before, with reference to, potentially doing something. But that is not the artist I'm referring to on this fine day. And if anybody guesses it, I'm going to make sure that you'll get a free copy of the plugin as well. Caleb Wayant. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. 17 people in here. Nice to see everyone. New Year's Eve. I am waiting for my missus to get home, as she has been, as you guys are probably aware, as I've said it a number of times, my missus has been in another part of Ontario where she is from, and we live in a different part of Ontario in Canada, and she's back today. I'm very excited. We're going to watch the Canada versus US hockey game tonight. Very exciting, very exciting. We're going to eat some food that we were gifted. We were gifted some food gift cards over the holidays, so I plan on doing that as well. No, I'm playing that incorrectly. And that's the thing about that harmonic in that song. You can't hit it. You can't hit it perfectly because the artist doesn't hit that. It's a different kind of like it's not a flub or anything like that. It's just a different kind of a little bit of a, he doesn't like lay right into it and give you that kind of sound. He doesn't do that. It's a bit of a different vibe. Great song though, World of Shit. And it's one of those riffs I play every time I pick up a guitar that's tuned low. I just do. I don't know why. Everybody's got that riff. What is your riff? Everybody's got like 5 things they do every time they pick up a guitar. Tell me what yours is. I'm very curious. What is yours? What do you play? Fit for an autopsy. That'd be cool. No, but I think that would probably be... doesn't that already kind of exist with Tonality Will Putney? And Will Putney's fan-fucking-tastic. I'm not saying I love Tone Hub. Tone Hub, if you've not played around with it, Mr. H as well, another good plugin. I would say that it's fun to play around with is Tone Hub because all of the packs in Tone Hub are available for like a free trial, so you could just like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tones. And one thing I will say is like Tone Hub is like anything else that's profile-rific. Is only as good as we've always said, shit in is shit out. Turds that go in comes out a turd as well. So quality in is quality out, and with there's a lot of packs across Tone Hub that are really, really good, and most of them have producer names on them. Gee, I wonder why. Because those people really know what the fuck they're doing. So one guy that hasn't done one yet is Dave Otero. I'd love to see that. Lassie Lammert did one before that changed over and everything else, and then before he did the tonality, and then Will Putney has got a bunch of them. Gary Holt's got a pack. Go and check that out for sure. Hey, Daniel, the CEO and the head honcho over at Aurora DSP. Daniel, thank you so much. Can you guys do me a favor and thank Daniel for his absolutely incredible generous gift here. It's incredible to be able to give away the all bundle, and I'm very excited to be able to do it. And thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you, Daniel. While you're here, though, it was great because I was just saying 2 seconds ago, can you do us a favor and give us the models, the amps used to model all 6 channels in Rhino? If you could do that before you scooter, I would really love that a lot, because I noticed that there was a new amp in here and we weren't even really sure which one it was. I was completely out of the loop. I did my update and pow, there's the new amp. So I was curious if you could list the 6 amps used for modeling in Rhino. That would be freaking cool. Daniel, nice to have you. Merry Christmas, my friend, and Happy New Year, my friend, as well. It's almost 9 p.m. there, and I would imagine you've probably, I don't know if Daniel's a drinker or not, but if you guys have something to consume, alcoholic or not, or if maybe you have some of the green stuff, or maybe you have whatever it is that you have that you enjoy responsibly, no driving, please and thank you very much. I would love all of you to still be subscribers of the channel next year and years after that. So please don't do anything stupid out there, like drive inebriated. Anybody, please drive safe. Please be safe if you're going out and you're doing things tonight. But if you are safe and warm at home, and maybe you've got a cat on your lap. I know Daniel's got a super cute cat. Maybe you've got a cat on your lap. Maybe you've got a movie on. Maybe you're just listening to me. Whatever it is, enjoy yourself a beverage or some green stuff or some wine. Whatever it is that you do, I don't care if it's just some candy. If you've got a bag of candy, I hope you've got something you really enjoy in your lap to take it through from 2024 to 2025. And I'm glad that you chose to be here with me for that. Man, this plugin sounds crushing. Never underestimate how awesome a little bit of chorus works to just fatten things up. I like to just put on like 5 or 10% of chorus. In this case, it's gonna be about 15. The Angle Invader clean. That's super bizarre. I did. Man, I could have had 100 attempts to guess that first amp, and I would have come up 0 for 100. 100%. You could have handed me 100 guesses and $1 million on the line, and I would be still stuck with $0. As is normally the case. Daniel, I have people guessing. I have alluded people to the idea that Aurora DSP may be considering some signature situations in the new year. Honestly, it's just one of those things that has to happen. It had everything. I don't think it would shock. It's not going to shock a single soul at this point, because I mean, there's some incredible licensing in place with companies like Laney and companies like Laboga, and who knows, there could be new partnerships, analog partnerships for Aurora DSP in the new year. In fact, I mean, I would say that's probably a good guess, because one thing is for sure, that's one thing that Daniel and Aurora DSP has been very active, very, very active out there with like analog companies. And I think that is a major part of what draws people to your brand are those licensing deals, as well as signature deals. So again, it makes total sense that is something that the company is going to, maybe consider for the new year. And I have people maybe guessing as to who that might be. If you guess, I can't tell you if you're right. I'm gonna give you a little and then I'm going to write your name down, and then I'm going to make sure you get a free plugin when it comes out. That's all I can really do. It'd be cool to be able to say it, but no, I don't want to give anything. I don't want to give anything away. Holy shit, this sounds great. This is really fun. That's beef. So we're going to do a, tomorrow. Okay, let me bring this up. So New Year's Day, tomorrow I am going to be doing a stream. We're going to be talking about our favorite plugins of 2024 moving into 2025. It's going to be a fun stream. Okay, so be here tomorrow. We're going to be giving away a couple of plugins. Going to be going over our favorite plugins of 2024. And one of those plugins for me is the Laney Ironheart. I think this thing is just fucking brilliant. This thing is very, very misunderstood. When it came out, I think people were gearing at it being a metal amp with metal tones. And it can do it, but it's not really a metal amp. Keep in mind, this is not an amp that was designed for a metal player. And I think there's just that sort of, we'll call it metal goonery, where a lot of people just think that, oh, the lead channel means the lead channel's going to be crushing. And then they go to that lead channel, and usually in a lot of amps, yeah, it's going to be crushing. That's what a lot of amps seem to feature these days, is a lead channel that can be used for high gain. This one is not one of those things. So I think that what a lot of those users should have done is, instead of going to the lead and being like, well, this isn't really what I was looking for, and I don't really like this plugin, go back to that rhythm channel and try harder to dial in a metal tone, and you'll get there. I did a mix with this. It's about a minute long. This is one of our first pre-recorded reviews that's coming out. We're going to be calling them Quick Rips. And just a quick run and a quick rip through plugin. Show you guys how to dial it in from scratch, how the presets, how things work, go over it. 10 to 20 minutes tops, 10 minutes minimum, 20 minutes tops rather, so that it's not as long-winded as I tend to be. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, that's the other thing I love about Aurora DSP, is that the decisions made at that company seem to be made on not by hype and not by, they're very interactive with their fans and the customers. What do you guys want to see? What do you think about this or that? And I like that they include everyone in those types of decisions. But the other decisions as to what gets built and everything else, that lies inside the company. And I love developers that think and say, like, this is the amp I want to build, and I'm the one that's the coder and the programmer and the CEO here, so I'm going to code what I want. And I love that approach. Nambrini Audio is very similar. Igor only does the amps that he really wants to do. You're not pushing that guy into doing any gear he doesn't want to do. And I love that there's a lot of developers that do things that way. However, there are other developers that will kind of listen to the demand a little bit and make their decisions all by the numbers. And I find that to be a very vanilla approach, but it's still successful. So you can't really mock that, because it often does pump out plugins that, let's be honest, the masses want. If people are calling for it, people obviously want it. And then, if you build it, they will come and they will purchase. And that's cool. But at the same time, I love the mentality of, I'm going to build what I want to use, because it would be really cool if this amp existed. I see one amp inside Rhino that, goddamn, somebody give me a goddamn Knucklehead plugin. Please, somebody give me a good Rivera Knucklehead plugin this year, please. So tomorrow, that's going to be about part of the theme tomorrow. I got off on a tangent there. Tomorrow, New Year's Day, we are going to be going over our favorite plugins from 2024. We're also going to go over what you guys, as the user, as the customers, as the elite customers that know what they want. What is it that you guys want in the new year? We're not going to talk about that now. You can if you want. That's fine. But tomorrow is when we bring all that to light. Why? Because I want to know about it. I want to know about that. We want to know about, what do you guys want to see? What do you guys, and not only what do you want to see, but also on top of that, what do you think the masses want as well? It's easy to say, oh, I'd love to go and I'd love to see a plugin developer do a PV butcher. That's just not going to happen. I don't really think there's any developer out there that's going to spend time coding a PV butcher. Meanwhile, Daniel's just like, is that so? I'm just kidding, Daniel. That's not how you laugh at all. And I know you definitely don't do. You do more of the spirit fingers thing, right? I'm just kidding. Yeah, anyways, there's a lot of amps I'd love to see, and we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Guys, I'm going to take a 2-minute break, then we're going to come back, and we're going to use some more of the wonderful stuff from over at Aurora DSP. We're going to take you over along some of the more metallic tones that can be had with this here Laney Ironheart. And maybe talk about the amp a little bit, although I think I'll leave that for tomorrow because this amp is going to be a big focus tomorrow. Maybe see if we can give away a single license for this one tomorrow, because like I said, it is one of our favorite plugins of the year. It's just so good at what it does. But what it does isn't necessarily metal based. It's a little bit different. Used for doom, punk rock, hard rock, thrash metal. I would just say for modern metal, this may be not where you parked your car, but that's okay. It's okay for an amp to not be good at modern metal and gent. It's okay. It's okay once in a while for someone to put out an amp and a plugin based on that amp that isn't good at modern metal all the time. All right, guys, I'll be back. Give me 3 minutes or less. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate your support. And when I come back, we're going to give away that all bundle. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. That was my chair. Someone saw my chair when I leaned over the other day, and they're like, good God, what happened to your chair? Did an animal get at it? Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's exactly what happened to it. My cat, when I trim his claws, he likes to take it out on my chair to regain his sharpness. So he takes his stumps over here, and then daily, it's the only thing he can claw onto. So he gets him in there. He's like, yeah, son of a bitch. How do you like it now? I'm like, you go for it, dude. It's a fucking $40 office chair, and I can go get... I know where the place I bought this, they have 700 more of these. This is exactly the reason I bought this chair, and precisely the reason I don't have one of those 16-year-old gamer Twitch chairs where they sit in those gigantic space chair. Look at me in my space chair. I don't have... My cat would eat that space chair for breakfast. He'd look at that thing and just be like, for me? And I'd be like, no, not for you. And he'd be like, no, it's for me. I'd be like, no, it's not for you. And he'd look at me like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this gift. And then within one evening, I'd have to keep it in like a battle-hardened case. I just couldn't do it. Plus, they got arms on them and shit. I can't have a chair with arms. Anyways. All right, so we're going to go to the Ironheart, and this is one of the best plugins of the year, in my personal opinion. I got a whole bunch of presets for this, and I honestly think they sound pretty decent. So let's go through these presets on the rhythm channel. And honestly, they go from blues rock to everything else. So I've got the user set presets here. I'm just going to go to, and this is for the rhythm channel. I'm just going to go to hard rock rhythm. So hard rock rhythm. One thing about the Laney plugin is if you don't like Laney cabinets, then you won't necessarily, you might want to switch up. And the thing is, Laney cabinets have this very unique sound. Here's another thing that I would say could be fun, is if you go to Celestion Digital, they were nice enough to grace us with the Celestion Digital Tony Iommi Laney pack. And it's got a newer cabinet from the 90s and then one from the 60s. And the thing that sounds awesome. So at some point, I think probably tomorrow, I'll try running those through here as well. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the Ironheart is the Tony Iommi amp. Yes. Oh, we're still guessing. Hold on. Yo, Ton Guitarra. Hi guys. How is it going, Daniel? Let them guess. I think hardly anyone will expect it. You are absolutely correct. I don't think anyone's going to expect it. Although, Daniel, on the other side of it, someone did mention an artist that I know Daniel is interested in. Although you guys haven't gotten it yet, how it came about was very simple. I came upon a conversation, and I was reading through a whole bunch of really, I'm just going to call it a whole bunch of stupid. And it was just a particular user group where it was just suggestions for future plugins. And the suggestions for future plugins were all just vanilla. Oh, it's so boring. All of it was just like, it's just all so boring. It's just, for me, boring. And then I saw it and the conversation that was surrounding it. And eventually, the conversation that surrounded this particular suggestion got a little bit weird, in which case the guy eventually deleted it because he got a little bit, like, it seemed like people like bullied him right out of there for his interesting suggestion. So the comment doesn't even exist anymore. I don't even think the developer got to see the comment, and even if they had, they wouldn't have taken seriously anyway. But it got me thinking of what could exist and what could a plugin look like from said artist. And we got to thinking and talking about it, Daniel and I, and we're like, So we started having a conversation, and eventually we got to this situation through several different layers of communication. We got there. And I'm very excited about said opportunities. So now we're going to go, we're using the Laney Ironheart right now. So this is just literally hard rock rhythm. Essentially. So already it's sounding pretty meaty and pretty beefy. Make them, yeah, that's pretty cool. Clutch would be a cool idea, although I don't know. It's not really it's strange to say this, but I don't really consider Clutch to be a guitar band. I feel like that's just like a whole vibe in that band. The only person in that band that I could see having a plugin for whatever reason is the drummer. This is name like JP Gasteyer or something like that. I could see that dude having a plugin, like a drum plugin, because his drum sounds are gigantic. Maybe. I just like this chatter. It's good chatter, guys. The Ironheart is a criminally underrated amp. I don't know if it's underrated, yes, but I think it's also misunderstood, guys. It's a very misunderstood amp. I just think that a lot of people saw Aurora DSP. They know Aurora DSP does death metal. It looks like a death metal amp. It's got red in the... It's called the Ironheart! I have no muscles. I'm sorry. So it's like people are like, oh, I can't wait for this thing. And then all of a sudden they get it and they're like, that metal goonery that takes you always to that heavy red channel. They were like way thrown off because that channel does not sound like your typical chuggity chug. And the reason for that, if I'm not mistaken, I read a lot about this amp, and this is the Tony Iommi amp. So that lead channel was meant to harness more of that Tony Iommi sound, and that his higher gain sound. And like, he was a high gain pioneer. That dude used gain and lots of distortion and fuzz at a time when, you know, not a lot of bands were doing it. So it's a bit of a different bird. But I think where that lead channel actually excels is leads. For fuck's sakes, leads and solos. Like, sometimes it's okay to use the rhythm channel for your heaviness. Now, in this case, we're going to do that. I'm already getting some pretty decent chugs out of this. And that's already pretty good for thrash. Probably no problem. Getting warm for thrash anyway. Why did it switch me so aggressively? Why have you done this to me? Rhythm Factory. User. All right. Now we're going to go to shred. The shred presets are pretty fun, but before that, let's just go with modern death metal just to show you guys what it can do here. So you've got the cabs here. Everything sounds really good as well. Yeah, this is probably the heaviest preset. But again, this is kind of a situation where I don't know if I'm using this for metal. Like, I think just for thrash metal, yes, I would 100% use this on on a recording. I wouldn't think I would use this for like like a death metal, modern death metal type of deal. Why? Because why would I? If you've got lots of other plugins that handle that territory, what the fuck does it matter if this one can't? If one can't, but yet everything else it does is really good, what is the point of complaining? Oh, I can't do metal. So what? Who cares? It doesn't matter if it can't do seething modern high gain, or that maybe you were duped and didn't do the free trial ahead of time. You know, like, always do your free trials just so that you're not mistaken about what something may or may not give you. In this case, I think some people were just a little misunderstanding of how things worked. I saw some very strange presets that if you read through the manual of how, especially how dynamics, tone, and watts work, you see how it kind of affects the tone and how to not use that section if you want a modern metal tone. So I think if you're clear in how you set things up, you can get a tone like this. You're like, okay, well, there's one thing about that I want to caution. So I'm going to turn off the cab and I'm just going to turn my own cab on here for a sec. I know I can load them in there, but let's not even bother with that right this exact second. I'm going to go to my go-to just for a sec. And you can see that the amp, like when it's a Laney ahead through a Laney cabinet, like I said, Laney cabinets really have their own vibe. And if the cabinet isn't your vibe, then you can really do things with the Ironheart to change things up. Now listen to that. That's my favorite cabinet. Can't do, I don't know, man. Like that's getting pretty close to being pretty good at modern metal, actually. I'd probably still say I'd max out at thrash. But boy, is it good at thrash. Sneaky fucking good at thrash, boys. Oh, so maybe it does. Maybe we're giving it the chance that it deserved in the beginning. Let's really thrash it out. Holy, that sounds good for thrash. Yeah. Yes. Yes. More yes. I'm just trying to read through the comments, guys. For the upcoming year, we have the... Nice. That's huge news, guys. How fucking huge is that? Daniel, filling us in. We're the first ones to get that information. How fucking cool is that when developers drop in and drop hot, juicy, non-life-threatening bombs on everyone? Wallet-threatening, potentially. Definitely wallet-threatening for most people. I'm going to tell you that much for sure. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm not out of here yet, but man, it's awesome. Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. And I wanted to reflect on the past year as well. We'll probably be doing some of that tomorrow. And also reflecting on the upcoming year. You guys have already seen some of our upgrades, graphics, little things will be up and down. I'm doing my battle vest up. It seems cheesy, but I kind of like wearing my battle vest in streams. I just had to kind of reconfigure patches. So I think I might start doing that again. That might be fun. And like I said, we got the quick rips that are going to start dropping hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow if I'm happy with the edits. And I'm picky. Whatever you're going to do. Also, the Laney Digbeth getting in on some, and I'm going to say it, the Absalon and the Digbeth getting in on my favorite bass plugins of this year. The Digbeth is, again, super underrated. that thing can do just about anything. So make sure you're checking that out. I know bass plugins are a little bit of a different jam. And I think the main reason that bass plugins are not quite as big business as guitar plugins is because there are so many small, easygoing, and compact bass preamps that are out there that are already doing a lot, and people are just plugging straight into their interfaces and just going. And I think that there's really, yeah, sure, there's lots of that for guitar as well, but not in the sense of like as all those dark glass and there's so many different options for bass players. So I understand that plugins aren't for necessarily everyone. But that being said, bass plugins are still good business, and the Laney Digbeth is fucking awesome. And in the limited amount of time I've spent with it, I'm going to spend some more time with it in an upcoming stream. And then also I have to say, one of my shockers of the year, I did not see it coming, was the Absalon bass from Aurora DSP. I did not see this coming. I didn't see it coming. I turned that on a stream, and I started playing, and none of the other plugins in the chain mattered for the entire stream. I think I did almost the entire stream with just the Absalon because I was so blown away, but how fun and cool it is. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm just reading through here, guys. And I know I said I'd have the tablet here by now. It's at my mom's, and it's about a 25-30 minute drive. We have to go out there tomorrow with the missus. So I said, just hang on to it for a couple more days, and I'll see you in a couple of days anyways. So for me, amp sins, as far as living and dying by their cabs, Nolly X's update got me using that almost exclusively right now. Nice. Caleb, you're not the only one that said that to me. I don't know if I can, are we considering X versions for plugin of the year? That would be interesting. I'd be interesting to discuss that. Be interested to discuss that with the team here. What do you guys think? For the team members that are in the stream right now, what do you guys think about that? Should X series plugins, being that I'm going to say they should probably count, because I've gone over it in my head a few times, and I think they should probably count because, they do involve new features, they do improve the plugins, and they do give them to everyone for free. Everyone that owns that plugin, they get the update completely free, and you get to have both of them installed. If you want to, one does not overwrite the other. So you can go back and forth if you like the old one the way it was and you don't like these new features. I've had a few people send with that sentiment to me, saying that they liked the original Nameless suite much better. I don't know for what reason or why they feel that way. They just said there's just a different vibe to it. Hey, everyone's got their own ears, everyone's got their own needs, and everyone's got their own brain that is either stimulated by a tone or not as stimulated by a tone. And sometimes our brains play tricks on us as, oh, there's so much difference here. In reality, the difference could be so small that we can't even really hear it. But you know what? The way everyone's brain works differently, right? So kind of interesting. You're digging Gorilla for bass tones yourself. Nice. Nolly and Kali are what I've used most. Started branding out beyond neural is a bit more. Yeah, I honestly, I really don't like the mentality of one developer is king. It's not like that anymore. And there are a lot of fanboys out there that are just absolutely certain in their mind that a certain developer is sorry guys. There's a certain album I just felt like listening to, so I'm going to do that. It just got me thinking. Anyways, there's certain fanboys out there that are just absolutely certain that their developer of choice is the best. Something has led them to believe that it's the best. And even though several other developers have done the amps that they really would like to see in a plugin, they only want it if their favorite developer does it, because they understand me, bro. and they just get stuck in that very silly way of thinking, even though they actually haven't really tried. They're like, well, yeah, I tried Positive Grid and then I tried Neural DSP and there was no comparison. Yeah, you're right. There is no comparison. That's a really good upgrade. Thank you for making that choice in life, or whatever it was that got you to step away from the gateway plugin that might have got you in here. Even if it was, maybe it was Neural DSP or STL Tones, or maybe it wasn't. Who is in the comments? Tell me, what was the gateway company the first company that got you using amp sims? For me, it was Lepu, and that was many, many moons ago now. Not plugins, but amp sims. I mean, I've been using plugins forever prior to that, but I always just recorded an amp instead. Amp sims. I guess my first amp sim would have been the Line 6 Pod 2.0. But the company that got me interested in plug-in amp sims was Lepu. The Searchlights. I'd love Mixwave to do another high gain release. The Stringer was a lot of fun. See, it's interesting that you feel that way, Caleb. Because, again, I've heard... I used the Mic Stringer plugin, and it's very strange. I wanted it to be a lot better. See, the Benson Chimera was flawless. And the Milkman Creamer is flawless. And then on top of that, they've got some other stuff. That new one, I always forget the name of it. 2 Notes or 2 Boost. I can never remember the name of it. That one, again, it's really, really good. But there are other styles of plugins, like their signature suite type plugins, like the Richardson and the Stringer plugin, just didn't hit me the same way. So it's interesting for you to say that the clean tone in the Stringer plugin was phenomenal. And the high gain just felt a little strange to me. But then again, different folks, different ears, different wants, different needs. And yeah, if you're a metal player, there's just so much out there from so many developers. You're right though. I would love to see, here's what I want to see from Mixwave, my friend. We can agree in this, on this aspect of it. I feel like Mixwave's best plugins so far have been their licensed efforts with the various analog companies that they've done licensing deals with. Those have been the best. What they need to do is they need to do a licensing deal with a high gain amp builder. I don't know, whoever it is, they have this knack of finding these boutique builders that are just sort of building these crazy, amazing things but companies that I honestly had not really heard of much of prior to the licensed efforts. So it would be nice for them to pick up a high gain amp sim along those lines. I would love to see that. And I know that they would be cool enough to have us do something, to hook us up and have us review it and stuff. I want to be able to say great things. And I know that I'm absolutely certain that if they were to do a licensing deal with I don't know, like just for example, like Armored Amps, that is a smaller company. And I don't know that a lot of people know Armored Amps or do not. But I feel like that's something I would love to see, is like something like that, where they do something that's really high gain that fits in their lineup that can go along with all these high gain drum plugins. I'm not saying high gain because there's no such thing as a high gain, but you know what I mean, like death metal and metal inspired, metal influenced, metal purposed drum plugins from players like good bands like Gojira and Slipknot and all these other things that they've done. So yeah. Audio Cell, great gateway. Very affordable. I love it. Great gateway to jump into the industry. They're very affordable, and they're very affordable. And on top of that, they have quality, and they've changed a lot over the years. They've improved like 500x over the last bunch of years. Amp Locker has come along a long way. Amp Locker is now a lot of fun for me to use. I fucking love using Amp Locker now. Holy cow. I don't know, man. Like anybody that says you can't, going back to it, anybody that says you can't get a good modern metal tone, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's just complete false. You're not trying hard enough. Tell me in the comments which Aurora DSP. Who here hasn't tried Aurora DSP? That'd be more. I think most of us have probably tried a lot of it, but who here has not? Anyhow, I think Daniel has probably left us. Thanks so much for Daniel for stopping by. It's always rad when we're going to do more of that in the new year. That's one thing we are going to be trying to do more of, is anytime we do a release, we're going to try to ensure that the developer is there, or someone from the developer, like the AR or something like that, is there to answer some questions. That'd be really cool. Emissary was the first amp sim for me. Nice. Was it the pre-STL merger? Or was it the STL Emissary bundle with Nadir? I'm curious, because the Emissary's actually was around significantly longer than STL Tones, or prior to that merger, rather. Gosh, the ML Sound Labs if you're asking if we're going to bring it up, the ML Sound Labs plugins are not very good. I don't find them very realistic. I find that the cookie cutter setup, and they're good for the price, but for the price, you're correct. Audio Assault does beat them out for the price. I'm not a big. I love the ML Sound Lab IRs. Oh gosh, do I love their IRs? I really do. The selection of cabinets, the quality, the insane quality of their IRs is just bananas. But the plugins just ultimately not super for me. Just kind of leave it there. I don't like to. We never drag anyone around here. But if something comes up and if I don't really like it, that's just one thing where when I listen to it, it definitely gives me that vibe of when you're on the controls of any amp sim and it only sounds good from roughly 4 to 6 on the dial. That is kind of a strange thing, you know? When you're using an amp sim and you're turning up like the mids and the low end comes up and the high end gets kind of sketchy and cardboardy, you're like, what the fuck did I just do here? What is happening? When there's no real relation between the controls and only 4 to 6 really does much of anything good, and you're using any amp sim like that, those are red flags. Crap. That's about as much as I'm gonna drag anything. I'm just gonna say, any developer out there, if you're using it, you just fully notice that the controls sound their best with everything at 5. There's no amp on the planet. There is no amp on Earth, analog amp on Earth, where it sounds its best with the controls at 5. That does not exist. So if you're looking for a reason to suss things out, that's definitely one of our sus factors here at the Amp Sim universe, has been since the Honest Amp Sim Reviews days, and prior to that, you're looking for these little things, and when you're hearing these negative artifacts popping up all over the place, and you're really not getting that full vibe of what the amp is that they're trying to deliver to you, I find it gets it's tough, especially in an industry. We're talking about an industry where there are a lot of companies right now. There's like probably a handful of like 7 or 8 companies right now making really, really, really realistic and authentic sounding stuff, including Audio Assault is up their game there. So by putting out an amp sim where it's not fully there, it's not fully there because you're obviously, if you're releasing an amp sim, you got to have your finger on that pulse, trying everything that everybody else is releasing. Especially if you're competing, you got to try that stuff. And if you know that what you're releasing is not quite there, you're just taking that like a twig and throwing it into a rushing river, like whitewater rapids. That's what's going to happen to your plugin these days. There's with you know, like I said, 7, 8 plus companies doing it the right way. When you're doing this black box modeling thing and trying to cut all these corners, eventually you cut so many corners that your tone is round. And that's what you don't want, is round tone. So that's just, I'm definitely not out here trying to be like, yeah, you're wrong, your ears are incorrect. I just like to tell people where, if I don't like something, where is the reason I don't, what is the reason, like try to use something vague without dragging it through the mud. The graphics are terrific. They're very simple to use. And there's some of those plugins from, arguably, let's just say, ML Sound Lab. Some of those plugins are decent. Yeah. I mean, there was the one that was the Pink Sabbath. The Pink Sabbath one I remember liking. It was decent. It was fun. They're also the first company that took a stab at a Mark Series amp before anybody really did. And that was appreciated. Although, man, that is a tough amp to really nail. Gosh, that's a tough amp to nail. And there's only one company that's done it so far and really nailed the Mark Series amp, and that's Neural DSP, right? Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, you guys, if you're out there and if you've been at this a while, then it's easy to suss out these weird products that, like, if you're using the really good stuff, the second you're not using the really good stuff, you're finding yourself like, turn knob, hit switch, flag, no, that's not, turn knob, hit, nope, that's not good, mini switch, oh, that's not good either. Let me move the mic around, pin the tail on the donkey, oh, I missed, it says a good, oh, no. You know, like, this is really things that do happen from time to time. And there's a difference between not liking a plugin and a plugin simply not being very good. And there are a lot of plugins out there that I really, really wanted to like, but I just didn't. And that's okay. You're entitled. There are so many out there now that we are all entitled to like what we want. So what did I do here? Just to make sure that I could get the tone I really wanted, I just threw an angle cab in there, and it took the Laney out of the mix. And here, voila, we are here. We are at Metaltown. That we said we thought we couldn't get to Metaltown. So yeah, that thing can metal just fine. Just put your own cabs in. Think outside the box. That's I want. Gosh, if there's one thing I want more amp sim users to do in the new year, is just think outside the box. Think about the suite as an amp. Everything above the amp, if it's good, that's a bonus. And it's great. It's always nice when everything inside the box works really good. But sometimes you can get more out of the amp sims that you love by simply just changing the cabinets. That's it. Just something that's not available inside. In this case, I could go here and just load this up too, because they allow you to load custom IRs right down here. I just did just for me, for now, I wanted to do it that way. Before we get going, and I'm not going just yet, but there's the other thing I wanted to showcase is the shred. You guys are well aware I'm not much of a shredder. I'm gonna try, hold on a sec. See here, you look on the other side, I've got Chainsaw, Doom, Hard Rock. I attempted a mock KSC because I was looking at the settings in the video that they were using the Iron Heart, but I couldn't really nail it down. And I've got space leads and stuff like that. So again, like that lead channel is going to be more of a doomy kind of vibe. Whereas if I go over to rhythm and go to user, there's these shreddier presets. I love that attack, and that'll cut too. So the cut and the sustain of the lead is pretty interesting too. If you put somebody if you're really gifted at shredding. I do believe that these presets made it in. Let me check factory. Yeah. So check out Shred 1. Shred 2, Shred 3, 4, or 5 of the presets that I made for this. I'm glad they made it over. That's fantastico. And there's a whole bunch of presets that I put together in here, as well as tons of artists as well. We've got Johan Lund busted house here. You got Adele. You've got Fluff. Fun. So there's lots in the box here. And this is definitely on the list for one of my favorite plugins of 2024. I'd be approaching it's definitely the top 3 for me. It's tough. It's a tough year. There's a lot that came out. I'm just looking through here. So, winning the all bundle today. Winning the all bundle from Aurora DSP as wonderfully donated by Daniel. Thank you so much to Daniel and Aurora DSP. Going to be giving away a copy of the Laney Ironheart tomorrow on our New Year's Day stream, where we will be talking about all the best stuff from 2024, as well as talking about all the stuff you, the user, if you want to be heard, this is a good place to be heard, because the more you talk, the more we talk to the developers about the things that we're hearing as well. And don't think that developers aren't watching these occasionally. They see your chats. If they're watching it on a certain source, they can see your chats. So, the winner going to be Caleb Wayant is going to win the all bundle today. Caleb, congratulations to you. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all those good vibes. Caleb, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you and all the banter today, and I appreciate your approach. You are going to win the all bundle, sir, from Aurora DSP, which means you get it all of it. Every last thing, you get it all. And I can't wait for I'm so excited for you, because this is one developer where, man, like, I can remember the very first conversation I had with Daniel, and the only plugin he had out at the time was Mammoth, and he had an IR loader he was working on. And man, it's just crazy to see how far Aurora DSP has come in really not really that long. Like, it's only been a company for a very short time. We're talking like a few years. And this is huge moves for a company that's only been around for a few years. And they've been making moves since the beginning, so it's awesome. It feels good to be able to offer that to you, my friend. SMG's Element Bass. There's lots out there, man. There's a lot of bass plugins out there. I haven't really heard a whole lot about it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard a lot about it. It's priced very high in a pretty competitive market right now. There is a lot of really, really good bass gear right now on the plugin market, like so much that I think some people don't even realize is out there. Like lots and lots of really good bass gear. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to have to try it and really put it through its paces, but the price already turns me off a little bit, especially at being like a newer developer. It puts me off just a tiny bit. I haven't seen Caleb acknowledge that he won something. Maybe he's in the bathroom. He's going to come back and see everybody's, why is everybody congratulating me? Imagine he just left. Man, the DI's sounding good today even. Not going to be much longer for the stream here, guys, but I am going to put a little bit of time on the Absalon. And you guys are well aware that this requires a gate today. So yeah, I'm not as big. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to use my own cab again here. Little out of tune. I had thoughts of who we might give away the stuff to earlier in the stream, and then we just swapped out. Caleb took it, man. He took it. But again, you'll have chances to win plugins from now until the 4th of January. So this is again my EGA 412 from Dr. Bonkers, the best, well, my favorite impulse response that ever lived. Okay, so this is gonna crank this up or what? I was told that this was a an orange. What do you mean, what am I using? Which plugin? This is Absalon from Aurora DSP. Cheeky. There it is. Just making sure we're in tune here. I don't like not being in tune, and you guys shouldn't either. Don't ever stand for that. If I'm ever out of tune and I don't realize it, which is pretty much never, just put up a big capital T in the comments. What IRs am I using? If I ever just say I'm gonna switch to my own IR for a minute to see what it sounds like with just using like a user IR instead of on board, I'm always going to this one first. That is the Dr. Bonkers EGA 412 414 Hype Real Mix. This mix is just like, it's my baby. It's my bread and butter. And I love it. I love it. And it's in a few plugins because I love it so much as well. Because I've gotten a couple people hooked on this particular IR. Man, I'm in a good mood today. I hope you guys are as well. Happy New Year, everybody. Wherever you are out there. What about Dying Fetus? What do you guys think about that? That's a band I think could probably use a plugin. I love their guitar tone. I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly it would entail, but I love their bass tone too, actually. I have to look more into it though. Beast. Let's boost it and see what happens. Reroll, you already own most of it? Okay. Kick ass. I like it. I'm going to get you something, though. Just for that, Caleb, let me know what you don't have. Okay? Let me know what you don't have from our DSP. Let me know what you don't have and that you would like. Or if you want to save that for the new year, I'll get you hooked up just for that nice. That's a really kind thing to do. And kindness should be rewarded in today's day and age because it's becoming rare. And a lot, man, COVID got a lot of people thinking right between their own ears and their own ears alone. And I can't even say that I'm not that way myself occasionally. So like, yeah, kindness always needs to be noticed, rewarded, and commended in our current social landscape, as it were. I'm down to re-roll. I own a ton of these. So I feel like this way. That's fine. Totally. I understand. I totally understand. Do you want to pick the winner or do you want me to pick the winner? Either way, you let me know what you want to do. Either you pick something that you'd like now or something in the new year comes out that you're super interested in. You just let me know and we'll make sure you get hooked up, okay? I'm currently we're shutting the stream down here in a few minutes with Absalon. This thing is fucking cool. And it's got really something different. It's just something, it's just something different. I want to try scooping it out a little bit and see what happens. Ooh, that sounds evil. That's dirty. What happens if I crank it? Oh, it's already cranked. He actually released this with the sole purpose of this being really, really good with low tunings. And so much he also did a bass version of it that I've already mentioned is the bass version of this is in my plugins of the year. 100%, that's going to be on my bass plugins of the year along with Lainey Digbeth. Two great, phenomenal bass plugins. So I'm going to have to do a bass stream before the end of the break here. So you guys can definitely assume you're going to get a bass stream. Count on it before the end of my break here. I got to do one. I'll come on here. I got to go buy some new bass strings though. Gosh. Hey. We don't need no pity parties around here. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of chances to win some great stuff, Ton Guitarra. Plus, you've got that amazing plugin from Audiority coming at you next couple days. And yes, I did get your choice, sir. I am excited for your choice. You're going to have a lot to play with that. I think if you need, when you say faith in humanity, I think that there's also something to be said of the faith and humanity of free software that's out there available right now at your fingertips that maybe you don't have as well for Ton Guitarra and for everybody out there. If you're looking for something to be creative and maybe you're on a budget or you have no budget. And let's be honest, there's a lot of us out there right now where we do not have the budget for frivolous things. We just don't have it. And it's understandable. You know what I mean? If this wasn't sort of like a side job for me that was generating the odd tiny bit of income, I wouldn't have half, even a quarter of the stuff. I would have like 2 guitars, maybe 3 tops. But it is what it is. I think there's something to be said for a lot of developers out there right now putting out great freeware that keep people on any budget creative, motivated, and also not just free software, but free IRs as well. Tons of free IRs out there, so you're constantly messing with your tone. It gives you, I think for me anyways, it always gave me, freeware has always given me something new. Even if there's like it's a slow moment in a release schedule and you just want to go looking. Go looking. All right. Is Mr. H still with us? If Mr. H is still with us, then he's definitely gonna get. He's definitely getting it. Anyhow, I'm just looking through the comments here, making sure Dr. Badonk. All right. This thing sounds awesome though. Make sure you're checking. Also, here's the other thing. For Ton Guitar. I'm not saying Ton Guitar is on a budget. That's completely unfair of me to suggest. I'm just saying that most of us AmpSim users are on a budget. That is why we use AmpSims, because we don't have the money to collect these amazing amps. So, I mean, most of us, we're on a budget, and most people these days are on a budget because, let's be honest, the world has inflated. The other thing that developers have done out there to make sure that we all have lots to play with is unrestricted free trials. Make sure you're using all of your unrestricted free trials, and make sure you're not wasting them. Don't just like sign up for it and play it for like one time. And if you like it, play it as much as you can. Record with that free trial in that time, and then you wait for a sale and you snipe. You snipe. I agree then. I'll second Ton Guitar for this wonderful prize today. I agree. And if it passes on some good fortune and makes his holiday season complete for this nice gift, this wonderfully generous gift. And that I do have. I do believe I have that in my email already, Ton Guitar, so you won't have to even wait for that. You'll be rocking hard for the next foreseeable future. And hopefully, though, you'll be recording some stuff as well, because, man, there's some stuff in there that's going to be great for recording as well when you have all those different compressors in there. Fantastic. Yeah, man, tell me about it. The dollar here as well. I'm not familiar with what the dollar's doing in Uruguay, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Uruguay? In any event, in Canada, man, the dollar has taken a pounding. It is very expensive to live here. Things are very much out of hand on a number of levels that I will not speak about because that's getting political, and we don't do that here. But man, things are getting a little weird. Things are expensive, and that's tough. But we don't want to go into 2025 thinking, geez, things are expensive. Oh no, my life is terrible. You know what, guys? We have a lot of reasons to feel rough sometimes, and the current climate of the world is getting rougher and rougher. So, guys, feel free to maybe to come in here. And if you're on one, guys, if you're just like having that day where you're just like, man, fuck the world kind of day, you feel free to come in here, and we will improve your mood. I promise you. Guitar, the universal language of tone and humor and idiocy and craziness that comes around in here is always a lot of fun. Man, that's some great tone. The more I'm thinking, like I'm listening, now I'm just listening to Dying Fetus, listening to this tone, like punishing. He also gets so low and guttural that I just love it. I love how low and guttural he gets without having to resort to like any of the strange like throat filtery things like Alex Terrible. But that dude is, I'm not gonna say that those weird like throat I can't even do them. I can do some savage growls myself, but I can't do any of those weird filters that them dudes are doing. I'm not, no disrespect to Alex Terrible. That guy scares the shit out of me. So yeah, this was designed to be really good with low guitar. And I think these are fun plugins. These for me are really, when it comes down to the $30 plugin range and the $20 plugin range, these things are pretty unbeatable. They really are. Like they're pretty unbeatable for 30 bucks. And man, like you get usually you get two different sounds inside the plugin. You get like a couple of switches, and you'll get that thing in the center that always controls like gain or boost or something to that effect. You get a built-in gate. You've got a couple of IRs to go back and forth. It's a good party to be part of. Go check some of these plugins out. Do the free trials. Make sure you do your free trials. All right, guys. So I must be going now. Unfortunately, I must cut. We must cut it here. This has been a fun time. I love giving away stuff away. I love giving stuff away. It makes me feel good. And in this case, we had a whole bunch of different giving going on today. So much generosity. It was passed from Daniel to myself. I gave it to Caleb, and Caleb then gave it over to Ton Guitarra. And everybody is happy. Everybody is stoked. But make sure, though, make no mistake, Caleb, you have earned yourself a free plugin. So if you have a choice, it's in your mind and you're just you're not sure yet, let me know. Make sure the email is always there, the ampsimuniverse@gmail.com, the ampsimuniverse@gmail.com. Super easy to get in touch with me, although I don't always respond to emails for like prizes and stuff. Normally it's just like, if I'm getting you to message me about a prize, I just want to note who do I have to get this prize to? And then when I respond to you, it's going to be, hey, here's your prize. Usually they just kind of sit there until I have the prize to give. So just in case anybody's wondering why I haven't returned certain emails, it's just because I'm waiting for the prize, and I'll get right back to you as soon as I have it. So hopefully everyone, see you guys. Congratulations, Ton Guitar. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's really great. And it's super great that we have a lot of people in here. Thanks so much. Have a very safe and entertaining New Year's, everybody. A lot of love coming from Canada and from our entire team, which we are not all Canadian, by the way. We're from all over the world. And so from our team to all of you, thank you guys so much for making 2024 a great year. It was a year that I wanted to spend on just streaming. Quite honestly, almost the whole year was spent on just streaming. I didn't do a lot on social media. I wanted to get really, really, really comfortable in here with how everything works. And then this year, as mentioned, we're planning to launch the pre-recorded content, which for me has been, it's just like recording this, but for whatever reason, I find it a little bit more awkward. So, and it's a little bit more stiff. There's no swearing. It's just one of those things where it is for 100% for us to be able to grow. And the only way we're getting shares is if we're creating content that developers feel a little bit more comfortable sharing, and that the average Joe is going to take the time to watch all of, right? So again, thank you so much for being part of a really great year of creating a super solid base and a foundation for what we hope to become in the future. We're not going anywhere. We have a huge year planned. Going just down the list of things we have planned. We have, first, I can say, we have planned a plugin. We have planned obviously the NAMM Universal Plus is going to come out, as well as the free version is going to get updated and upgraded. Beyond that, I cannot say a lot about our plans. We have a few different things. I am helping with a whole bunch of different things from a couple of different developers. And I have big news, but I can't give out the big news just yet. Not just yet. All right. And I'm also very excited for the new sponsors and to go sponsor crazy in the new year. Don't worry, it's not going to be all you'll hear about, but you'll be hearing a lot of pickups from Aurora Tone, and you'll be seeing the new guitar that I'll be getting from Mindsinger, as well as a build that I'll be doing for the fall. I can't wait to talk more about that. All right, guys. So thank you once again for being here. Congrats to Ton Guitar. I will see you guys tomorrow. Not unsure of the time, but man, I can't wait for that stream. Let's talk about the best of 2024 together while we step into 2025 with our new expectations. Thanks so much for being here. Cheers, and I'll see you tomorrow.